It's Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. Further details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.com.
The award-winning It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I'm Hope Madden.
And this is It's Movie Time. Oh, Hope, I have a question for you. We've had some blockbuster superhero movies this summer. Give me a rundown and your evaluation.
We started with Spider-Man, which was passable. It went on to Godzilla, which was, I think, better than I expected it to be. And then X-Men, which was just a ton of fun. And for me, the high bar for the summer.
Okay, and we both gave it somewhere around the B+ area when we reviewed it. And I felt good about it too. Now, we have the tentpole guy. I mean, Tom Cruise is here every summer with something big, and they're hoping that he's going to help the studio and everybody else. So here he is with Edge of Tomorrow. And the important thing is that we are featuring the real star of this movie, Emily Blunt.
I'm not saying something because you're a Cruise fan.
I am indeed.
But she is remarkable. She's remarkable in this movie.
Yeah, and so, but basically, what do we have here in this story?
It's funny because it's surprisingly fresh, given that it is simply Aliens meets Groundhog Day. That's exactly what this movie is.
And how about mixing in some source code?
Oh yeah, and you know what? Even a little Top Gun throw in there. You know, but it's funny because they embrace it. You know, Doug Liman, the director, really embraced it, and that he wasn't trying to recreate the wheel. He was. But and I especially loved all of the nods to Aliens. Not only the suit, there's this special suit which is exactly Sigourney Weaver's suit, by the way. But Bill Paxton is in the movie.
Bill Paxton.
They weren't even they weren't shying. They're like, but if you're gonna if you're gonna remind us of a movie, Aliens is a good one to choose.
And Paxton is very good.
He is. He's very funny. He's really great in it.
And he doesn't seem to age. He must be 100 by now, and he is very good at this.
He was.
The trope here is that we're going back and forward in time, and that makes it very difficult it's very difficult for the editor, to be sure, in addition to the director. But the challenge is to keep, as I think you were implying, is to keep it fresh, and I believe it does. There's a little change every time Cruise comes back, and when you do this, you get better.
Right.
In this kind of thing, you're learning more about your day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He maneuvers the idea, I think, really, really well, as does the director. What happens is he gets forced into this battle that he doesn't want to take part in, and when he dies the first time in his battle, something happens to sort of this time-space continuum, and every time he dies, he wakes back up at the same point the day before the battle.
Right.
And so eventually, after we don't really know how many times, he starts to figure out, I have to change the trajectory. I have to change the battle. I have to fix this so that we beat these aliens. And it's true. The way that they directed it, you don't have to see the whole day every time. You don't. You see bits and pieces. You see, and they throw in a lot of humor, which I thought was really nice.
And Tom Cruise is the best when he's self-deprecating.
Yeah, he is.
And he is doing a great job with this. And 52 years old, he's carrying it off. He may be a little old for Blunt. But it doesn't,
No, but he looks like he's 35.
But
so.
you know what's good about this? We don't have any of this Spider-Man kind of, oh, I love you, da-da-da stuff.
No time for that.
No time for that. It's excellent.
That's right.
For me, you don't waste time in this romance stuff.
No, it's true. And that's one of the great things about the Emily Blunt character is she's got no time for it.
She doesn't. And who would have thought, we were talking earlier before the show about how we so admire the casting people on these. Who would have thought Emily Blunt could kick butt?
Right. That, although she's wonderful in everything. I've never seen her in a film where she did not shine. Even bad films. But, she does a lot of romantic comedy. She does some, she does some historical dramas. You don't really see her in like this Sigourney Weaver role, but she's outstanding.
And I'll tell you somebody else who is so good. Brendan Gleeson plays the general. Now, you got to understand the arc for Tom Cruise's character here is that he's a PR guy for the Army who knows nothing about battle.
He's a weasel. He's a good-looking weasel.
And he is so smarmy and so full of himself. And this general puts him right into battle, and he's and the Cruise character is fighting every bit of the way to stay out of battle.
Yeah.
And naturally, I mean, no spoiling the plot because you all know science fiction and you know what happens in characters like this. But he gets better at what he does.
Right.
And that's the nice thing, I think, and gives me a chance to see Cruise play a little bit against type.
I think you're right, and I think he does a wonderful job of showing his character arc.
Yes.
Even though we don't get to see every day that he relives. Eventually, we're just seeing snippets of it. We're seeing how he's changed pace. He's changed the direction that they're going to be taking, but we're not sure why because we haven't seen, we don't know how many days. They do a really nice job, I think, of keeping you guessing and still using this kind of weird Groundhog Day trope.
Oh, I know, my gosh, it is. But also, there are some pretty standard things that go on here.
Oh, sure.
For instance, the aliens.
Yeah.
What is that? They look like spiders and
sort of wires. They kind of look like, I don't know, really electricity and
they still have
goo.
The alphas still have that kind of little head but big mouth spitting out stuff. So there's some almost laughable, but they're pretty treacherous looking.
Yeah,
they
are.
Spin around and they kill everything in sight.
Yeah, they kind of look like wires.
Yeah.
And yet they're I thought they were pretty cool looking myself.
The source, the mother, the energy source, of course, the Omega they call it, is strictly boilerplate science fiction.
That's true.
Hiding under the Louvre,
Yeah.
and what was somebody commenting? Surely she would have been able to reverse time. The Omega.
Though, you have to say, any film that toys with that idea, eventually the logic eats itself.
You're right.
And
yes.
and there is certainly some of that in this movie, where you're like, wait a minute, what?
And I'll say the same thing I've always said. I go in a movie and I ask the director to take me wherever he or she wants me to go. And I am ready to go. All I'm going to do is sit here and say whether I thought the director was successful or not, whether the film is successful or not. And you are right. If you start asking questions in science fiction, for instance, you're just you're gonna shrivel up and die. You've got to accept.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Especially time travel. Anytime you read, well, this wouldn't have happened because of time travel, and you're basing that on what?
Well, let's just talk just a bit more about Emily Blunt's character because I think we both
you have
really
a crush.
like. Well, I don't know if that's a crush, but I of course am an Anglophile, so that starts off with that. And I do like strong women in movies, but naturally I don't want them to be domineering like Sigourney Weaver. I like them to still be women. So in every respect, I think they did a great job with her. There are some points at which, for instance, it turns around your expectations. She's the one who trains Cruise. He comes in not knowing anything, and she's the one who shows him how to survive in battle. And I thought, that's really pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think everything they did with her character was very interesting. In the very beginning, they recruit a lot of new soldiers at the very opening montage because this woman with very little training took this suit and killed 300 aliens. Well, there's a reason that happened, which you learn later in the film. I mean, and I think, and so by the end of Cruise's arc, he's a very different person than what he started. And so your sense is Blunt's already begun there. She's begun at that place where Cruise is at the end. And I just think that she's really a masterful actor. I think that she is. And when you take somebody with talent like that and put them in a sci-fi popcorn monster, it just really elevates the film.
And some great lines. The one that everybody's seen in the trailers, but I still love the idea. When he sees her, she says, well, when you wake up, look for me again.
Yeah, that's right.
Or whenever she needs a transition, she just shoots him.
Oh, yeah. That is, I think, really funny. That's especially early on when he's like, no. It's like, dude, your leg's broken. You're no good to me now.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's bleeding out. His leg is broken, and she shoots him in the head several times.
And I gotta love Cruise's reaction there. Like, oh no, not again. When she points the gun, and then he wakes up. They don't show you the blood.
No.
You just go from that point where she shoots him, and then he comes back. All right, Hope. I'm gonna start out again because I think I know where you're going, and I'd like to start out a little bit high.
Okay.
And I'm awarding this a solid A-.
All right.
Hope Madden. The film is Edge of Tomorrow. Your estimation is?
I'm gonna go B.
All right, I thought you might.
Yeah, which is very enjoyable. I thought it was very enjoyable, but it's not. It brings up some classics, and it's no Aliens. So you gotta go. Well, if you're gonna keep comparing yourself.
And what the audience doesn't know is that we've replayed this show 2 or 3 times.
That's right. We're on our own edge of tomorrow right now.